Welcome, dear listeners, to History with Herodotus, where we embark on a journey through the annals of time, uncovering the hidden treasures of our collective past. Today, we find ourselves in the midst of a tale that would forever alter the landscape of one of the world's greatest cities, the Great Fire of London. This cataclysmic event, which ravaged the heart of London in 1666, was not merely an accident of fate, but rather the culmination of centuries of urban growth, societal evolution, and perhaps a hint of neglect. As we delve into the origins of this pivotal moment, let us transport ourselves to the London of the 17th century. The city, then a sprawling metropolis of narrow winding streets and closely packed wooden buildings, was a hub of commerce and industry. The air was thick with the smells of coal smoke, baking bread, and the distant tang of the Thames River. We find ourselves in a city where the sounds of hammering on metal, the chatter of merchants, and the clanging of pots and pans filled the air. The year 1666 was a time of great change and upheaval in London. The English Civil War had ended just over a decade prior, and the city was still recovering from the devastating effects of the Great Plague, which had swept through the city in 1665, claiming the lives of nearly a quarter of its population. As the city's residents struggled to rebuild their lives, they were unaware of the impending disaster that would soon engulf them. One of the key figures involved in the development of London during this period was King Charles II, who had been restored to the throne in 1660. His reign saw a significant increase in trade and commerce, which led to a surge in population growth and urbanization. The city's residents, merchants and traders, had created a thriving commercial center, but one that was increasingly precarious and prone to catastrophe. In the years leading up to the Great Fire, several smaller fires had broken out in various parts of the city, serving as warnings that were largely ignored by the authorities. For example, in 1632, a fire destroyed much of the city's wooden bridge, while in 1649, a blaze swept through the tightly packed streets of the City of London, leaving many homeless. Though these events sparked concerns about the city's vulnerability to fire, they ultimately failed to prompt significant reforms. As we explore the historical context of the Great Fire, it becomes clear that the disaster was not solely the result of chance or accident, but rather the culmination of a complex array of factors, including urbanization, population growth, and the lack of effective safety regulations. The city's residents had built their homes and businesses with highly flammable materials, such as wood and straw, and the narrow streets and alleys ensured that any fire would spread quickly, with little chance of containment. In the autumn of 1666, with the harvest season in full swing, the city's warehouses and storage facilities were filled to capacity with highly flammable materials, such as grain, hay, and timber. The dry summer months had left the city's wooden buildings parched and vulnerable to ignition, while the strong easterly winds that blew through the city would soon fan the flames of the impending disaster. As we stand at the threshold of this pivotal moment in history, we find ourselves on the eve of a disaster that would change London forever. The city's residents, oblivious to the danger lurking in the shadows, went about their daily lives, unaware of the inferno that was soon to engulf them. And so, dear listeners, we shall proceed to the next chapter in our tale, as the Great Fire of London begins its inexorable march towards destiny, leaving in its wake a trail of ashes and forever altering the course of this great city's history. Join me as we step into the heart of the inferno and witness the events that would forge a new London from the very embers of the old. Welcome back to History with Herodotus, as we continue our journey through the annals of time, uncovering the hidden treasures of our collective past. As the fire began to spread on September 2, 1666, it quickly became apparent that this was no ordinary blaze. Fueled by strong easterly winds and highly flammable materials, the flames swept through the city with alarming speed, consuming everything in their path. The narrow streets and alleys, once bustling with life and commerce, were now filled with panicked residents desperately trying to escape the inferno. One of the most striking aspects of the Great Fire was its sheer scale and ferocity. The flames rose to incredible heights, casting a golden glow over the city as they devoured building after building. The roar of the fire was deafening, a cacophony of crackling wood, shattering glass, and screams of terror that echoed through the streets. As the fire raged on, it seemed as though nothing could stop its relentless march, leaving in its wake a trail of ashes, rubble, and despair. Despite the chaos and destruction, there were moments of heroism and resilience that would define the spirit of London during this period. The Lord Mayor of London, Sir Thomas Bloodworth, played a crucial role in responding to the disaster, although his efforts were often hindered by the lack of effective firefighting measures. The city's residents, meanwhile, banded together to fight the fire, using whatever means they could find to try and contain the blaze. As the fire continued to spread, it became clear that drastic action was needed to prevent its further progress. A team of experts, led by King Charles II himself, worked tirelessly to create fire breaks, demolishing buildings in the path of the flames to starve them of fuel. This desperate measure ultimately proved successful, and on September 5, 1666, the fire was finally brought under control. The aftermath of the Great Fire was a time of great upheaval and transformation for London. The city lay in ruins, with thousands of buildings destroyed and countless lives lost. Yet, from the ashes of the old city, a new London would arise, one that would be rebuilt on the principles of safety, resilience, and grandeur. The fire had destroyed much of the medieval city, but it also created an opportunity for visionary architects like Christopher Wren to reimagine the urban landscape. As we gaze upon the ruins of the old city, we are reminded of the power of human ingenuity and perseverance in the face of disaster. The Great Fire of London was a traumatic event that would forever change the course of history, but it also served as a catalyst for growth, innovation, and transformation. Join me next time on History with Herodotus, as we explore the rebuilding of London and the creation of a new city from the ashes of the old, a testament to the indomitable spirit of its people. Welcome back to History with Herodotus, as we continue our journey through the annals of time, uncovering the hidden treasures of our collective past. The aftermath of the Great Fire was a time of great upheaval and transformation for London. The city lay in ruins, with thousands of buildings destroyed and countless lives lost. However, from the ashes of the old city, a new London would arise, rebuilt on the principles of safety, resilience, and grandeur. King Charles II played a crucial role in the rebuilding efforts, establishing a commission to oversee the reconstruction of the city. The commission, led by Sir Christopher Wren, would go on to design and build many of the iconic landmarks that still define London today, including St. Paul's Cathedral. One of the most significant challenges faced by the rebuilders was the need to create a new urban plan for the city. The old medieval streets and alleys had been destroyed, providing an opportunity to create a more modern and efficient layout. The commission developed a grid-like system, with wide, straight roads and public spaces, inspired by the great cities of Europe. This new design would not only improve the safety and sanitation of the city, but also provide a sense of grandeur and majesty. The rebuilding of London was not without its challenges, however. The city's residents were eager to return to their homes and businesses, and there was a pressing need for temporary housing and infrastructure. To address this, the commission established a series of temporary camps and settlements on the outskirts of the city, where people could live while their homes were being rebuilt. Additionally, a series of regulations and ordinances were put in place to govern the rebuilding process, ensuring that new buildings were constructed with safety, and durability in mind. As the years passed, London began to take shape once more. The city's iconic landmarks, such as St. Paul's Cathedral and the Royal Exchange, rose from the ashes, symbols of the city's resilience and determination. The streets were filled with the sounds of hammering and sawing, as carpenters, masons, and other craftsmen worked tirelessly to rebuild the city. The smell of freshly cut wood and stone filled the air, mingling with the smells of food and drink from the many markets and taverns that sprang up to serve the workers. The rebuilding of London also had a profound impact on the social and economic fabric of the city. Many of the old guilds and trade organizations were re-established, providing training and apprenticeships for young people. The city's merchants and traders took advantage of the new opportunities presented by the rebuilding efforts, establishing themselves as major players in the global economy. As the city grew and prospered, it became a magnet for people from all over the world, drawn by its energy, creativity, and entrepreneurial spirit. As we look back on the Great Fire of London and the subsequent rebuilding of the city, we are reminded of the power of human ingenuity and perseverance in the face of disaster. The fire was a traumatic event that would forever change the course of history, but it also served as a catalyst for growth, innovation, and transformation. Today, London stands as one of the greatest cities in the world, a testament to the indomitable spirit of its people, and a reminder that even from the ashes of destruction, something new and beautiful can arise. And so, dear listeners, we come to the end of our journey through the history of the Great Fire of London. It is a story of tragedy and triumph, of destruction and rebirth. We hope that you have enjoyed this episode of History with Herodotus, and that you will join us next time as we explore more of the fascinating stories and events that have shaped our world. That's all for today's History with Herodotus. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, remember that to understand the present, we must first understand the past.